NASA Rallycross Challenge turns 28 this evening. 28 seasons, that is. Last season, Josh Klug flew under the radar while everyone had various turmoils and snuck away with his second NASA Rallycross championship. The Maryland driver is famous for retaining his career number of 199 instead of taking car number 1, but we wonder if he will maintain his luck and take a third championship this season. Francois Martel and Alex Abetti will have something to say about that for sure. Francois had 2 terrible races, while Alex had terrible luck at the beginning of the season that cursed him down the championship order. But it's a fresh slate for everyone tonight as the season begins. We wonder what will happen in the hills of Scotland. We'll find out together tonight. The season commences this evening. The Scottish Grand Prix is next. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Knockhill circuit. Opened in 1974, North American Simulated Auto Racing started visiting this circuit in 2022A. A lap of this circuit is certainly a roller coaster at 0.686 miles in length with 6 corners in total, 5 to the right and 1 to the left. The lap will begin with a climb up the hill past the start-finish line and an immediate plunge down Duffus Dip. The road angles away slightly, but you can utilize the AstroTurf on corner exit. In turn 2, utilize the grip on the driver's right to make sure you can get the line through the corner, and then it is the signature left and right of the dirt section. One lane, extremely bumpy. You have to be very precise in order not to end up in the barrier, and be careful of the tire barrier on corner exit. Joker lap is longer here in Knockhill, but uniquely to the NASA Rallycross Challenge on iRacing, this Joker merge, super fast off the road course. We've seen plenty of collisions here. Our format for NASA Rallycross is as follows. 22 cars will be split into 4 heat races, 6 laps apiece, and you have to take the Joker lap once. The top 2 will transfer to the feature, winner gets 3 bonus points, and the runner-up gets 2. The rest of our competitors will be funneled into the semifinals. 5 lap races, Joker lap once. The winners of those races, along with second, will transfer. As we have 12 cars in the feature, the winner gets a bonus point. This sets the grid for the expanded 12-car, 10-lap feature race where the points are awarded and trophies are handed out. And unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. The 28th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge commences tonight on the Automotive Sports Network. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, 5-time series champion Philip Kraus next to me in the commentary box, along with 2-time series champion Cody Erdman down in the studio. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to the Scottish Grand Prix. Our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution, and for more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for yet another series support. Our coverage all season is brought to you by NordVPN. If you're worried about hackers stealing your personal information or being tracked online, NordVPN is here to keep you safe. With military-grade encryption and advanced security features, NordVPN keeps your browsing data and activity completely private. With over 5,500 servers in 59 countries, you can enjoy fast and secure internet access from anywhere in the world. Plus, their no logging policy means your online activity is never tracked or recorded. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Try it risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA for up to 63% off a 2-year plan. Our cameras for this entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And finally, our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. We're waiting on Phil. Actually, he's here. The whole gang is here. Phil, Cody, new season. Think of the starts, the fresh starts that Francois Martel and Alex Abetti will get. Phil, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's not just Francois Martel and Alex Abetti. It's a fresh start for everyone. Nothing's a given this season. We saw that all of last season that nothing's a given. We saw Francois win all those races early in the season, and he still ended up not winning the championship. But yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, Josh.
I'm very thrilled, but we need to hear from Mr. Erdman first.
Yeah, welcome. Glad to be back up here in the commentary box, or in the studio, my new little position over here. Yeah, Francois had a super good start of the season, but Clog doing what he does best and just putting the whole season together and able to take the championship. So everyone, we got to hit the reset button, so let's see what happens now that we have a couple new contenders, it seems like, this season, looking through practice.
As let's take a look. Practice, Robbie Larill is back, Francois Martel, Russell Peterson's back after you sent him into the stratosphere, Cody, last season. Josh Klug and Matt Hartley, the 2028 champion, returns. So Klug, two-time champion, still no car number one. It's hard to bet against him, but like I mentioned in the opener, Philly just flies under the radar and handles his own races.
Yeah, but are you betting against him just because he doesn't run the number one, Josh? I know you don't like that he doesn't run that number one.
It irks me, but it's unique. You know, he tried it once in the old sports car challenge and had a terrible season, or I think he ran car number 3. It was one of the teammate numbers, and he did terribly. And he said, I'm never doing that again. So I can respect it. I can't do it, but I get it.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention, and we haven't mentioned, like, as you mentioned, you did mention it, Hartley's back. I'm interested to see what he'll do over a full season, because as you said, he fought for it in 2028, and I think if you give him a full season, he's going to be right in that fight with Martel, Abedi, Clark, and all the gang.
Now, speaking of 2020A, the other side of the coin, Magnus Okenhaug is back, of course, and that's going to be interesting as well to see, because if Magnus, we all love him, stops being a bowling ball, I think he has the pace.
Yeah, he has the pace. He just he needs to clean up his act a little bit, and the stewards have definitely sent their message to him that he needs to clean up his act. As I think he's on a full season probation for 2023B. Josh, correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll see how that goes. For sure.
Speaking of seeing how things go, Alex Abedi, fastest in qualifying by half a tenth over Francois Martel, Evan McFarlane, Cody Crosgrove, and Matt Hartley round out that top 5.
What a run from Cody Crosgrove.
I was going to say, our technically defending sportsman champion, although when you win that championship, you do graduate up to the pro division. So, I mean, that's another thing we could talk about is who knows what's going to happen in sportsman with Crosgrove gone. Will Chris Wetz finally get a championship? But Hartley looking good, Ragster, Angie, Morris, Klog, P9, Justin Ament in P10, Robbie Larill, P11, if this timing is right. Everyone's all over the place. I think Abedi just set a new fastest lap.
Yeah, I'm excited to
people out of position here, Phil.
I'm excited to see Chris Wetz back too, because for the longest time we thought he wasn't going to run this season. Then at the waning hour, we see Chris Wetz is signed up, and honestly, I'm excited to see what he can do. As Alex Abedi did improve on his pole time, so it just popped up on the graphic there.
As one car that hasn't left pit lane or did leave pit lane, most of them are done with their laps. So we'll try and see if there's anyone on track. So Klog is running extra laps. So these are all these qualifying runs are ended then. So we're gonna have Abedi on pole. Then it's Hartley alongside him if I'm doing my estimations right. And is that going to be Klog with Abedi and Hartley in Heat 1?
Yeah, that should be Klog in Heat 1 with Hartley and Abedi. Yep, that is correct. And
that's going to be wild.
I was going to wait for the ticker to roll back over to see who was 13th, but I just missed it.
Looks like Wetz is 13th. We'll take a look now at our grid for Heat number 1 here in Scotland. Alex Abedi, former champion of the series. Matt Hartley, former champion of the series. Josh Klog, former champion of the series. Defending champion. Chris Wetz, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Second all-time or third all-time on the wins list with 20 career wins. Richard Stover, a newcomer, and Olivier Rateau. Phil, this is crazy for Heat number 1 of the season.
Yeah, I feel bad for the bottom 3 drivers. They got 3 champions to they got to beat all 3 of them if they want to make it into this feature race, Josh. But Knockhill turn 1, it's always chaotic.
As Matt Grove mentioning no jokers, I'm not sure if our radio calls came through on our stream, but one joker, and you can't joker on the first lap because it's not a completed lap here in Knockhill. So we'll have to see. And Alex Abedi's debut for Pudgy's Racing, teammates to Steve Angie, our winner from Indianapolis last season. We get ready for the first heat of the season here in Scotland. Green flag off the line. Great start for Abetti. Down to turn number 1. Hartley files in. Side by side. Clog and Wetz along with Stover. And Olivier Rateau misses the start. Down to turn 1. Clog takes the spot on Wetz. Into turn number 2. Gives Hartley a nudge but hurts himself. Nearly into the tires. He hits Hartley. Around they go. Track is blocked. But Clog sneaks through. Hartley way in the back of the field now. But one guy that loves this, Phil, Alex Abetti. I'll take the heat win, he says.
Yeah, this is the easiest heat win Alex Abetti's looked at in a long time. And it looks like Matt Hartley pulled off the track. I don't know if he got going again, but that was a pretty big hit for his car, and I imagine any chance of him transferring through to the feature through this heat race is probably done and dusted. But Josh Clog, I don't think that's what he was hoping for turn 1. That's for sure.
It's a very un-Josh Clog move, but it's unfortunately the nature of this track, not saying that one guy is at fault or one guy isn't. It's a racing deal. That racing line, like I mentioned in the opener, you have to hug that grass in order to get...
That's opened the door for Josh. Chris Wetz is all over the bumper of Josh Clog. Sorry to cut you off there, but I saw him get real close through turn 2. And Richard Stover's following close behind as well. This is going to be a fight for the final transfer spot.
Abetti has not jokered yet, so we will see if there's going to be any strategy. Clog will, defending champion. Wetz thought about it!
Oh, that was close.
And he gave up the spot in the Joker. Outbraking was Stover. Here comes Wetz to the inside. Rarely we see racing in the Joker.
Yeah, I don't think that was the right call from Wetz there. I think you just got to dedicate to taking the normal race course at that point. Because he lost the position to Stover, and most crucially of all, he lost a ton of track time to Josh Clog, and you can't afford mistakes like that against the NASCAR Rallycross champion.
As I'm concerned, potentially Olivier Rateau might get in the way of Abetti. Rateau is in the Joker. I think he knows as Abetti does not take to the Joker. Contact! And Abetti's around from the lead!
He gets it going. That was a nice 360, Josh.
I had a feeling that was going to happen, but Abetti will hold the lead in Heat 1.
I think that was just for style points. He just did a 360 and he just kept rolling like nothing happened, Josh. You sure they didn't plan that out?
I'll have to ask because I had a strong feeling. Maybe I did write that in my script. Clog second, Stover third, Wetz in fourth.
And
the concerning thing is the delta now, Phil.
I don't know what the delta is here, to be honest. I'm seeing 8 seconds on the ticker right now. But yeah, that is going to be a concern for Abetti as he jokers now, yeah.
Abetti jokers, exiting the Joker. Still no contest with Clog!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
With this. To be fair, he had a lot of margin to play with that turn 1 kerfuffle, and honestly, if I was able to look at the lap times, I'd tell you, but I don't think he lost more than a second in that 360. Like, he made that as clean as possible.
The last lap, it was a Joker lap, 43.855.
Wetz off the track, manages to rejoin and not lose too much time, but looks like he's
just to finish that point real fast, he was a 10th off of Clog despite him spinning on a Joker lap.
That is disrespectful, Josh.
I didn't mean to. I just love numbers and love facts. I apologize. White flag for Alex Abetti, former champion of the series. Josh Clog, two-time defending champion in second.
Showing why he is a champion of the NASCAR Rallycross Challenge. Even a flat car couldn't really affect him, Josh. So he's going to cruise to this Heat 1 win.
Stover and Wetz and Hartley had some action in turn number 1, did Hartley, but 2028 champion couldn't show what he was made of. We'll have to see him in the semi-final round. Alex Abetti had terrible luck at this track last season. Made the feature, I believe. He finished not very great, but he wins Heat 1, pole position for round number 1 of this season, and Josh Clog will transfer in the 199. Stover in third, then it's Wetz, then Hartley. Heat number 2. Getting ready to go here in Scotland. And it's another Pudgy's Pizza car on this grid. Martel, Ragster, Ament, Okenhaug, Sowers, McKenzie.
And it's another pretty competitive grid, Josh. As Martel, Ragster, Okenhaug, those... We know how fast all three of those cars can be. Ragster's been with us for so long. Is he still in a Volkswagen, Josh?
He has moved to Pudgy's Racing for the Subaru team with Steve Angie. And Francois Martel goes back to the Ford.
That'll be interesting for Ragster, because I think he's almost always
what a start! for Francois Martel off the line. Sorry, Phil. Ragster gets swallowed up by Ament and Okenhaug down to turn 1. Okenhaug in the 26 sneaking in, car length back from Martel. Side by side for a moment it was Ragster. Okenhaug misses the corner in turn 2. Ragster sneaks into second. Will he have the run off the dirt, or off the first corner, into the dirt? He did close the gap up, making a car length between him and Martel. Okenhaug, Ament. McKenzie gets by Sawyer in the back of the field, but Phil, what a start!
Well, it was such a quick start, I didn't even realize it was happening, Josh. I was in the middle of my ramble, and they were already running into turn 1.
Martel leads. Ragster, Okenhaug, Ament, McKenzie, Sawyer is that running order. Okenhaug all over the track on corner exit, or corner entry and exit, used it all up to try and take that spot, but he had a terrible run through turn 2. Ament sneaking in for damage plan in car number 6.
It's going to put him under heavy pressure from Justin Ament, and they've had a few get-togethers in the last few seasons. It looks like Okenhaug's blinking as well. Just another issue for him to have to look after as this race goes on, as Ament takes to the Joker to try and get some clean track. Be interesting to see. Well, I was going to say it was going to be an interesting thing to see what the merge would be like between him and Vincent Sowers, but Sowers had an incident and McKenzie takes to the Joker, so honestly, that is optimal for Justin Ament.
As I need you to take over for just a minute. Apparently, there wasn't enough slots in the server, and I've got to figure that out, so I will be right back.
All right, so that sounds interesting.
No pressure.
No pressure at all, Josh. I don't know what you're talking about, especially when I'm seeing about 7 pixels right now, because it hasn't let me in the server either. But, yeah, it looks like Ragster is going to stay on the normal track as Okenhaug takes to the Joker in the 26 to try and cover off from Ament. That'll be a close merge between those two for sure. Is there going to be any contact between the two? That's close. Oh, that's very close. I didn't realize the pit wall was that close for Magnus Okenhaug. But he's known to be a risk taker, and that was definitely another risk for the Norwegian driver, as he's going to manage to hold on to 3rd place. But what that is going to do is that's going to put pressure on Ragster to take to his Joker. He had about a second over Okenhaug before the Joker cycle played out there, but Okenhaug didn't really lose much time, as I thought he was going to lose a little bit behind Ament, but nothing really happened, as Ragster is going to stay on the regular layout for one more lap. That'll either, I'm not sure if that'll play as a positive or negative for him. We'll have to see. But it looks like he has the pace over Okenhaug right now, as Francois Martel is... He's just completely disappeared in the Fiesta. We haven't really seen the Fiesta be that dominant in a while. So he's got a gap of about 3 seconds over Ragster in the 91. And it looks like Justin Ament in the 6 is also losing a bit of time to Okenhaug in the 26, as Martel takes to the Joker. If Ragster doesn't, he will get to lead a lap. But sadly, they don't really give you an award for leading a lap. Never mind, he took to the Joker as well.
As Ragster did follow a Betty to the Joker.
Yeah, and that is a completely clean Joker exit for Savion Ragster. That looks to be our heat set in stone as we start the final lap here in Knockhill. It's Martel who leads 3.5 seconds clear of Ragster's. Okenhaug goes wide at turn 2. That might cost him the spot. Yes, it will. Just about. Never mind. Ament hit the tires. That affects his run out of the corner, and this is going to be a ding-dong between these two to see who gets 3rd in optimal seeding for the LCQ round. Unless Ragster or or Martel messes it up in the final corners. They're side-by-side through the dirt section. You don't really want to be side-by-side through here. There's barely enough room for one car. As Ament's going to take the position. Okenhaug's going to try the undercut. Not quite there. But Ament got a poor exit. Short run to the line. Ament takes 3rd place from Okenhaug. As it's Francois Martel winning the heat number 2 from Ragster, Ament in 3rd, Okenhaug 4th, Sowers 5th, and Jim McKenzie rounding out the field in 6th.
Heat number 3, thank you, Phil, getting ready to go. Tentatively speaking, and I feel like I don't want to confirm this on air, but I think we had one of our drivers show up and not confirm. In Discord, you have to confirm, so I know how many slots there are, and Richard Sover did not confirm, so... I think the consensus of the admin team is he gives Rakowski his points, because Jess Rakowski was confirmed. He was not. Heat number 3, getting ready to go here in Knockhill. McFarlane, Angie, Larill, Grove, Gay, green flag. 3 wide, off the line. McFarlane and Larill. Larill clears Angie down to turn number 1. In turn 2, McFarlane on the inside. Track goes the other way, Robbie Larill. And for the first time in a while, with Robbie Larill back in NASA Rallycross, having some bad luck. If he's the modern day Chris West, but he can't win a race yet.
Yeah, he's shown really strong races in NASA Rallycross, but they've never been quite strong enough as a Fiesta's flipping in the
Benjamin
dirt.
Gay.
I think that collected Robbie Larill again. As we talk about Robbie Larill's bad luck, 2 instances of bad luck on lap number 1 for Robbie Larill in the 213.
As Benjamin Gay caught the end of the tires, and what the worst part is, the net code of iRacing thought that Larill was making contact with Benjamin Gay, but he was literally like 2 feet away. So that incident was magnified there. Evan McFarlane, on the other side of the KES coin, is leading this heat race ahead of Steve Angie and Matt Grove in the 472.
Yeah, and I don't think we've mentioned it yet, Josh, but I'm interested to see what these 2 KES Subarus can do throughout an entire season duration. They've both shown their flashes of speed. Robbie's been in NASA before, and Evan, he ran, I don't know if it was about the back third of last season, but he also showed a lot of pace, and he's leading this heat right now. I'm curious to see what he can bring on to the established elite, I guess, of NASA Rallycross.
As Grove sits in second, Angie in third, Larill and Benjamin Gay as we ride on board with Matt Grove in the 472 for Slapex Racing. Such a tricky dirt section to get right here, and you can skip over the dirt, but sometimes you'll hook the dirt and end up in the tire barrier. McFarlane, from when I was racing him, so fast. So I agree. It's going to be interesting to see if he can break the stranglehold.
This will be an interesting choker merge, Josh. He looks like he's going to be behind Steve Angie in the 7, but either way, a strong run for Matthew Grove.
We take cross flags. Grove has a huge run down the start, finish straight. Can't do anything with it this lap as we take halfway home in heat number 3. As Grove ran the lights race yesterday, won't spoil any results there. You'll catch it on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, ASN On Demand. But I'll tell you that Matt Grove had a good race. I'll tell you that much. Evan McFarlane, Joker's at the front of the field, Phil. Where is Angie in relation to him? No contest for the race lead.
I mean, it's closer than the other 2 leaders, but still, no contest on heat number 3 to see who's going to win this race. Unless there's a terminal error for Evan McFarlane, I think you've got this locked up, Josh. But this transfer battle between Angie and Grove is probably the most interesting transfer battle we've had so far tonight. I know you missed the battle. I know you missed the battle in heat 2 between Oak and Hogg and Amends for 3rd place, but that's some of the best racing we've had so far tonight.
I just want to say that the track time that Matt Grove had in the lights car is certainly helping him. Much better line than Angie through the dirt, and he had a better run through turn 2 as well. We take the white flag for McFarlane up front.
My Fiesta just does not look fun at all through the dirt section, Josh, I have to mention. It just looks like it's got the stiffest sprung suspension you've ever seen. It is hopping, skipping, and bouncing all over that section, but maybe that's just how the dirt is.
He's driving it well, but the car is not taking the dirt well, is what I mean, as Angie able to pull away mid-dirt section against Grove.
Yeah, the Fiesta looks really strong in turn 1 and just any of the paved section, but it is struggling through the dirt, and that's probably going to kill his chance of fighting for a transfer spot here.
Final corner, checkered flag. Evan McFarlane wins heat 3. Steve Angie will take the transfer ahead of Matt Grove. As taking a look at the results, Larill, Grove, Gay will go to the semifinal. As mentioned, McFarlane and Angie will transfer through. As apologies that I'm still back and forth. We're still trying to figure out this issue involving the lack of confirmation on the Discord.
Yeah, that is sadly something we've not had to really deal with before. At least to my knowledge in NASA Rallycross, Josh.
I have not dealt with this. No, I've dealt with having to make new sessions, but I haven't dealt with having to deal with someone who didn't follow the rules correctly and me not catch it in time. So, heat number 4, Cody Crosgrove, Matt Morris, Russell Peterson, Cody Wienecke, and Jake Robichaux. Feel free whenever you want, Cody Erdman, to chime in. It's not like you have to be silent until
sorry,
the warm-up.
No,
Me too. I was just talking over you the whole time. I think there was a few times you wanted to jump in.
You guys are good. It's fun listening to you guys.
Getting ready. Heat number 4 here in Scotland. Both Squadron Stun Zeed cars in this race, and 2 Slapex cars. Green flag. Crosgrove, terrible start. He's going to hold up his teammate Robichaux down to turn number 1. Renecki poked his way to the left side of Morris, sorry. 5 cars under a blanket. Crosgrove over in the 18. Everything's happening all at once. Around is Peterson, blocking the track for Renecki. Jake Robichaux sneaks into second, and Matt Morris takes the lead.
5 cars into 1 doesn't work too well, Josh, and it's no surprise that we only got 3 cars exiting that safely.
As Morris does not joker, of course, but he is out and away. Jake Robichaux, the last time he was in a transfer spot, Phil, Cody, we remember it was Daytona last season. That was in a semifinal. Morris leads Robichaux at the end of the first lap, and jokers are now allowed. Necki, Crosgrove, Peterson, all super fast guys. And Crosgrove rolled it, and he's still not too far back.
Yeah, Robichaux's got the track position right now, but it's going to be tough for him to hold on to this transfer spot. We know that Necki and Crosgrove are super fast, so we see them gain a few tenths already just through one corner, Josh, and he's going to be holding up through the dirt section.
And this
There's a
is
good chance
not...
he could throw Necki offline, and this has the opportunity to get very spicy. Look at the slip angle on that Fiesta.
Especially if one of these guys wants to joker, because you have to brake for the corner. Necki thought about it, so did Crosgrove. They both did
into the cars and they crash.
They crash! And Jake Robichaux might benefit from... Well, he is going to benefit from this.
You know Jake Robichaux, after taking to the Joker and watching his 2 main competitors for the transfer spot crash out, even if one of them's his teammate, he's kind of giggling to himself, because now he's got a pretty clean path to the feature, Josh.
Crosgrove out. Necki out. They have to go to the semifinal. And I tell you guys, for the last 11 years, anything can happen. Why, Phil?
It's NASA Rallycross, Josh.
Anything can happen
in NASA Rallycross.
Cross flags for Matt Morris ahead of Jake Robichaux. Russell Peterson still sits in third, but he got turned around off the start.
Yeah,
and he hasn't taken his joker yet.
Joker. It looks like Morris and Robichaux just have to keep their tires on the track, and they should transfer through to this final.
As both of these guys, I don't believe, have made a feature in NASA Rallycross. Go ahead, Cody.
I was going to say, I don't think we had this on our bingo card tonight. Morris and Jake Robichaux making this, like, we could see one of the two for sure, but not both of them in the same heat.
Definitely wasn't on my bingo card.
Jake Robichaux has made 1 feature in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, so has Morris, and I think the only reason why, and I mean no disrespect to these two, it was when we raced at Lime Rock last season. That's exactly what it is. So these guys have not made a feature in a regular race before in NASA Rallycross. Necki exits the pit lane after getting towed, might get in the way of Peterson here, but Peterson, unless these guys crash, which we've seen before...
I think this is just seating position for Necki for the LCQ. He wants to make sure he beats Crosgrove.
Morris jokers. Did Morris already joker? He did not.
No,
so he will hold the spot over Robichaux. And Necki has crashed again in the dirt.
Did he impede Peterson at all? Is Peterson caught up in that? Nope. All right. Looks like Peterson was able to avoid that, thankfully for him. We're going to have 3 cars cross the line under their own power, and as long as none of them make any mistakes, as it looks like Jake Robichaux was getting dangerously close to a tire barrier, right as I said that. Sorry for the almost commentator's curse, Jake. You should be in a final, my man.
As final couple of corners for Matt Morris. He rounds the final corner to get Squadron Stun Zeed's Ford team in a final for the first time. Jake Robichaux transfers as Russell Peterson, Cody Crosgrove, and Cody Necki to the semifinals. That was not something we had on our bingo cards, boys. Matt Grove over radio celebrating for his teammate, and now the first semifinal getting ready here in Scotland. Richard Stover, Matt Grove, Chris Wetz, Robbie Larill, Matt Hartley, Benjamin Gay, and Olivier Rateau.
This is a grid I would not want to be in for an LCQ, Josh.
So you get 2 cars, remember, transferring out of this semifinal for that 12-car feature later on.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult for a lot of drivers to try and fight to get into those 2 transfer spots. I thought it was 1 until about 10 seconds ago. Thank you, Bryan, for the save on that.
As,
we've got a
don't
lot
worry.
of quick cars in this.
I almost forgot for myself too. It's been a long day, and 5 laps, 1 joker. So hopefully these guys don't think it's a heat race where they think it's 6 laps, because it definitely is not. Gives you that little sense of urgency. Richard Stover hasn't gotten on track in the 82. Missed the start, I think. Green flag. Off the line. Wetz will now lead the field on the inside down to turn 1, but Grove has the spot. Wetz breaks him into turn 1, into turn 2. Grove off the track, side by side in the dirt. Wetz will have the line. Way out in the dirt is Grove. He's going to lose second. He's going to potentially lose third to Larill. Contact between them in the jump, or in the dirt, excuse me, there.
Again, I think,
into the wall.
Yes, they do.
And over goes Larill.
The bad luck continues for Robbie Larill and the KES team. He just can't seem to catch a break, Josh.
And it's so tricky.
Matt Hartley
to get
going
right.
for the lead.
Hartley takes the spot
Wetz
as
with
we end the first
doesn't
lap.
have to run.
Wetz set him. He outbroke himself going into the penultimate corner, and that's just a double apex, and you have to ace the braking point for the first part. If you miss the first corner, you're done. Hartley misses the grip strip on the inside. Phil, Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Hartley's going to hold the spot.
Those shorter wheelbase cars really seem to thrive in that, in turn 1, 2, and the final corner, but they seem to not like this dirt section quite as much. The Beetle looking a little bit better in the Fiesta, but still not great compared to the long wheelbase of the Subaru.
As jokers were allowed on that last lap, Benjamin Gay will lead the field into the joker as we end the second lap. Hartley, Wetz, Grove, Gay, Olivier Rateau jokers as well. Richard Stover is on track. Matt Hartley still leads as Robbie Larill off track. I knew we had a 7th car. Had a lapse of judgment for a moment.
I did not realize that. I thought he just missed the start and wasn't in the grid.
So he's still on the lead lap.
It looks like it's going to be a fight between these 3 for 2 spots. One of these drivers is going to be the unlucky soul who misses the race. And I'm hoping for Chris Wett's sake he's the bride for one, since he takes to the Joker a bit early. I guess that's to cover off from Grove prematurely, but it looked like Grove had the pace on him in the 472, Josh.
He'll hold off Gay in the 53, but we'll have to take a look at lap times. Last lap for Grove was a 37.3. To put that into perspective, Matt Hartley ran a 37.2, and Wetz, the only lap that really counted was the second lap. It was a 38.2, so I might have to side here with Matt Grove potentially sneaking it away. He's got the clear track now. Wetz does too, but...
Oh, look at the slip angle on the
Grove
Fiesta. That was too much.
I was just about to mention, he's got the rabbit to chase with Matt Hartley, but it's so tricky.
Showing what would have been for him if he had missed
back
the
on
start.
track, into the tires in turn 2. He gets out of the way of Stover in the 82.
It's just not. It's been a night to forget for Robbie Larill, and sadly, he's had a lot of those in NASA Rallycross. As Chris Wetz sets the fastest lap in the 71, right as we say he might be struggling.
Hartley jokered in the 50. He is right behind, or Wetz is right behind Hartley. He's gotten close using that clear air. Grove is going to have to joker here, and I don't think he's got it.
Yeah, we saw Grove was a few seconds behind Hartley when Hartley jokered. I don't think he's going to pull it off, Josh. I think you're right here.
Chris Wetz rolls it on the final lap in the dirt. And that's going to seal it, I think. Off the final corner, Hartley will win the semifinal, and Grove transfers.
Yeah.
You had to do it, Phil. Chris Wetz, Benjamin Gay will come home in the 3rd spot, best of the rest. Wetz, Rateau, Stover, Larill. Wow.
I couldn't even hide my bias there. I was really hoping for Chris Wetz to make it through the feature in the 71, Josh. I know you were too, but you stayed impartial a lot better than I did.
I try, but then when it's about Wetz, man, for those of you that are new, he's raced in all 28 seasons over the last 11 years. I have had side-by-side battles with this man for championships. We have a little bit of a bias here when I'm speaking about it. Semifinal B, grid fairly quickly. Ament, Peterson, Okenhout, Crosgrove, Sowers, Winecki, Jim McKenzie. Another 7 cars, 5 laps, 1 joker, and the top 2 will transfer. Winner gets a bonus point. Ament potentially might have gotten a jump
moving
start,
forward.
we're hearing. We'll have to see. Green flag. Peterson clears him. It's contact off the start with Cosgrove
Who is...
and Wienecki.
Well, that's,
Peterson leads.
that's changed things. That's one quick car out of the race, pretty much, Josh.
Peterson
Oh my God,
leads
that's
ahead
not
of
my bingo card.
Okenhaug, ahead of Ament, ahead of Sowers, ahead of McKenzie. I'll try and take a look and see what happened, Phil, if you take care of this for the moment.
And we'll have to take a look back at that to see, Josh, as it's going to be
looked like-
Russell Peterson leading at the end of lap 1. Sorry, Josh, I'll let you continue after they cross the line. Half second clear of Magnus Okenhaug in second.
A quick 2-second look. It was not Bryan. It was netcode. Cosgrove slightly came over into Wienecki from what I saw from 2 seconds of looking at it, and it was just a netcode. Cosgrove came over. So big development as Cody Cosgrove, remember, won the Sportsman Cup last season. Super fast in practice and qualifying. Out.
That's the second time he's been bitten by the Phantom Air, hasn't it, Josh? I feel like he was bitten in his heat by it as well. I might be switching him up with someone else, though.
Jokering is Peterson. I can't tell you if he did or if he didn't. Okenhaug will go to the race lead in the 26.
And
Ament.
Russell Peterson has a target to chase now.
Ament ahead of Peterson as well. Ament has not jokered, nor has Magnus. So this is really going to be a battle for the transfer spot between Okenhaug, Ament, and Peterson. Vincent Sowers, Jim McKenzie in the back of the field.
It's a really strong pace in this LCQ as well compared to the first one. I don't know if the track state didn't get reset, but Magnus Okenhaug immediately off the blocks with a 36.6.
Ooh, Ament crossed up.
Oh, Ament's in the wall! And
McKenzie's
Russell
over.
Peterson's
Peterson's into him.
That's gonna
Peterson in the middle of the track. He had to park.
Oh, they both.
Here
had to
comes
park,
Vinny
I think.
Sowers.
Yeah, Vincent Sowers had the lockup as well. That opens the door for Cody Wienecki after his lap one
Wienecki
incident.
is in 6th. I think he's.
Yeah,
I
he
think
hasn't
he's a
jokered.
lap down.
No, he's not a lap down. Wienecki's not a lap down.
So 2 laps to go. Let me get a reset and figure out what just happened. Okenhaug leads. Sowers now in a transfer spot. And Cody Wienecki on the outside looking in. As he crosses the line, he sits in 3rd after
gonna be-
resetting to the pits.
It's going to be some margin for him to make up, though, Josh. He's got 8 seconds to find in 2 laps. He's going to have to pray for an incident for Vincent Sowers or Magnus Okenhaug, and I wouldn't write that off yet, because it seems like every time we say, oh, there won't be an incident, there's an incident.
Put it on the bingo card that how many times do we say what happens in NASA Rallycross, it just anything happens, because yet again, we're going to see an upset in a semifinal.
Yeah, as we're on to the final lap already, Vincent Sowers just has to survive about 5 or 6 more corners, and I think he's in his first final in NASA Rallycross, Josh.
I think this is his first Supercars race because he joined us late in the light season last season. I think it was for Phoenix. So, ran last night.
Oh, I thought he had run
Magnus-
Supercars at Phoenix as well.
Magnus will take the semifinal B win. And barring any horrible issue in the final corner, so I'll hold my tongue for a minute, Wienecki holds the
Like he
3rd
made
spot.
it through the dirt. He made it through the difficult
Final
part.
corner, Vinny Sowers is going to transfer in Scotland. He is our 12th and final seed for the evening
What an
and makes his
upset.
first final.
What an upset, Josh.
As our
Wienecki, Peterson, Ament, McKenzie, Cosgrove, the remaining running order of that semifinal. As, wow, we're going to jump into a warm-up, so we're going to step away, have a message from a few friends, and then we'll be right back shortly.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
nearly 3 wide of Met and Palacio. Front bumper of Betty down to turn 2. Clog takes the lead. The Rill still has him jokered inside. Clog on McKenna. Contact between them. We welcome you back to round 237 of the championship overall and round 1 of the 28th season of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge here in Scotland. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, 5-time champion Philip Kraus next to me in the commentary box, along with 2-time champion Cody Erdman down on pit lane. My name is Josh Mertz, live on the Automotive Sports Network. Just a reminder, our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your continued support of NASA Rallycross. Our coverage is also brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off a 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. And finally, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. Phil, we got a minute and a half until grid. Give me a quick prediction.
Josh, why do you always put me on the spot like this? I did not think about a prediction at all. I'm gonna be boring with it then. We're gonna go with Francois Martel.
Cody.
The new kid, Evan McFarlane.
I like it.
What's your prediction, Josh?
Oof. I can't predict because
yes, you can.
The heat races were crazy. If I predict, who knows what's going to happen? I mean,
listen, if we made one, you got to make one too.
Betty, Francois, Evan, it's going to be a great battle for the top 3. Clog out of position, Hartley out of position, Oakenhaug, Angie out of... I mean, everyone's all over the place in this. There's a bunch of fast guys in this race.
It's going to be interesting for sure to see what Hartley can do from the back of the grid. Clog's a bit further down as well, as you mentioned. I want to see how Vinny Sowers does, because realistically, he didn't have the pace to make this feature. I want to see if he survives it or not. I think that is his goal going into this.
Well, as we saw from that last semi as well, that you got to finish first. Our pit lane looked like a demo derby. With cars smoking and destroyed and tires falling off. So I think the whole theory of to finish first you must finish is definitely going to be tonight.
I want to mention too, again, no disrespect to our little bit slower guys, Jake Robichaux, Vincent Sowers. They got in on their various circumstances, but guys, they have their own race. I'm looking through this. I think they are the only sportsman cars in this race.
Yeah, that's going to be important for those two. Sorry, Josh.
You're all good. I'm just laughing about that because I looked through the the spreadsheet and took a look. So it's gonna be a good battle.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that because I did not realize that Vinny Sowers was in the sportsman class.
Grid for the feature: Alex Abetti, Francois Martel, Evan McFarlane, Matthew Morris, Josh Clog, Savian Ragster, Steve Angie, Jake Robichaux, Matt Hartley, Magnus Oakenhaug, Matt Grove, Vinny Sowers. I'm going to think of it, Grove's in that race too, so we're going to have a 3-way fight at the back of the field for the sportsman win. With Cody Erdman and Philip Kraus, my name is Josh Mertz. We welcome you to the feature of the Scottish Grand Prix for NASA Rallycross, and this is going to be super fun. 12 cars, 10 laps. We know how tricky turn 1 is here in Knockhill. I can't believe it's going to be season 28 and year 11. Glad you can join us on ASN as we get ready in Scotland. We go green Scotland off the line. Francois gets a slightly better start in the first phase. Abetti's going to beat him down to turn 1. Side by side. A big Farland stuck in the middle. Clog to the inside of him. Nearly took the spot. Contact in the back with Hartley. Oakenhaug. Angie around into the tires goes the 7 as... Sorry, Robichaux comes back out on track in front of Vinny Sowers. They make contact in the back of the field. Francois Martel leads. Alex Abetti, Evan McFarlane, Josh Clog. Matt Morris sits in 5th. Ragster, Grove, Hartley into the tires in the 50 in front of Jake Robichaux, Vinny Sowers, Steve Angie, Magnus Oakenhaug. At the end of the first lap, Phil, Francois Martel starting to pull away.
And I can't say we're surprised at all. There was a bit of contact at turn 1, round 1 of every season of the NASA Rallycross Challenge. You get like a month off. you lose a little bit. You
Off
race
the
these
track
guys.
goes Francois on the 12. Sorry, Phil. To
No,
the
that is
inside goes
completely
Alex.
understandable.
Here comes McFarlane. Here comes Clog. They make contact out of the dirt. McFarlane loves this. If they came together again, former teammates, as Flirtel pushing this car in the exact spots that I bet he doesn't want him to be, Phil.
And it looks like McFarlane's about to be pushing both of these cars around the track if they don't up their ante sometime soon, Josh.
Jokering McFarlane. Clog does not.
play.
McFarlane
Smart
thought
play.
about it. We noticed the car want to go to the regular course, but he changed his mind. Good move. Will he get stuck in traffic? He will not. Grove Joker's behind him, so does Hartley.
Yeah, that's really smart from McFarlane. That's a veteran move from a driver who hasn't been in NASA Rallycross very long. He saw the clear track, saw the cars ahead of him were slowing him up, and he
I bet
took
he
his
got the
opportunity.
grip through turn 2, Phil. Much better run than his former teammate, Martel. Just putting the car where Alex is just to be annoying in the 12 versus the 99. These two know how they race. They've raced each other for wins. Matt Morris still sits in P3 ahead of Josh Clog. Sabian Ragster a quiet 5th. So we'll see the first Joker rotation. Top 2 don't, nor does Morris. Looks like Ragster's going to Joker, so does McFarlane to complete his strategy. And Phil, Cody, we know from a track like this, I think of the Proving Grounds in Lakewood, a longer lap, Joker merge, sorry. It's a longer lap, but you get the speed down the front straightaway.
And McFarlane, that second Joker, that might be a bit more detrimental to him as I'm looking at the time, and it looks like he's right behind Matthew Grove in the 472. If he can't pull that move off quickly, he might get caught behind the 472 and lose his opportunity to fight between these two cars for the win.
Angie and McFarlane, contact in turn 2.
Yep, there it is. There's the contact I was talking about, just not the cars I was thinking that would be involved in it.
Well, you know who's not benefiting from this? Sorry, Cody. Clog is stuck behind Morris in the 24.
Oh, he almost threw him into the tire barrier, Josh.
As we nearly take cross flags, Clog around to the 199, into a Betty in the 99. Here comes Ragster in the 91.
360 for a Betty. That's 2 for 2.
Cody, I cut you off. I'm so sorry. What were you going to say?
I cut him off too.
It just the contact actually was with the cars with McFarlane and Grove going into turn 1, and then just McFarlane got crossed up, and then Ange came and clobbered him. So yeah, there's chaos going out through this entire field.
Yeah, and we
Francois Jokers. Matthew Morris does not.
We usually see an above average level of chaos in round 1 in NASA Rallycross. As I was mentioning earlier, these guys, they've had a month off from racing each other. They know their tendencies when they're racing each other 10 weeks straight, but you take that month off and all of a sudden you forget a little bit because you're racing randoms in the standard iRacing official races. So you kind of lose your edge a little bit against like the competition you race every week.
I bet he took his second Joker. Around is Magnus in the back of the field. Matt Morris still sits in second.
And he's
in the 24.
Is Betty taking both of his Jokers, Josh? I can't.
Ragster's taken one. Betty's taken both. Betty has taken both Jokers. Clog has not taken a Joker. Grove's strategy's done. Hartley's strategy's done. Just an update on Sowers versus Robichaux. Sowers holds that spot, but he is behind Grove in the sportsman class. And we're at 4 laps to go, just like that, boys. And leading this race now on the road is Matthew Morris. But Francois has exited his Joker. He's all over the 24.
This is what a Betty needs, though. He needs a car to slow down Francois Martel a little bit. Because he's a few seconds outside of that Joker range. Actually, I lied. Francois is taking both of his Jokers. My apologies. Yeah, he needs a lot of help, actually. But he's not going to get that help for much longer. Because Morris has to Joker in the... Yeah, as he Jokers immediately in the 24.
Morris, Jokers, Ragster, Jokers. Francois back to the race lead. Put him back to second is Alex Abetti in the 99. And Francois' strategy's done. So, I mean, that race is run unless something happens to Francois.
It's going to be a difficult gap to overcome for Abetti. Sadly, the 360 did cost him something in this race, unlike in his heat. But 3.5 seconds the gap between our top two, Josh, as Matthew Morris is making it look a little bit closer than it actually is for third right now. He still has to Joker in the 24, and that should promote Ragster in the third.
Let's get a race update coming to 2 laps to go. Martel still leads ahead of Alex Abetti, ahead of Matthew Morris, Ragster, Grove in the top 5. Then it's Matt Hartley, Josh Clog, Steve Angie, Vinny Sauer, Magnus Okenhaug, Jake Robichaux in the 11th spot, and Evan McFarlane off the track in 12th.
Yeah, and something I just noticed, Josh, Matthew Morris on his second Joker. It's going to be close between him and Grove. Grove might get 4th overall as a sportsman entry, Josh, and that shades of what Cody Crosgrove was doing a lot last season.
as Matthew Morris sits in the third spot. I might have messed up that count again. He is a sportsman car as well, so we might be seeing the battle for the race win between Matt Grove and Matt Morris for that class. White flag for Francois Martel.
Here he goes through the Joker. It's going to be close between him and Grove. He's going to have the run out of the corner.
Grove's going to hold it, but Morris has the run.
To navigate.
Driver's left gets
well.
Contact on the pit wall exit.
Yeah, he got spooked by Hartley there in the 50, but Hartley's going to run a little bit wide through turn 1. I think that's going to settle it for the sportsman race between Grove and Morris, but he might still have a chance to get Hartley for 5th.
We saw it happen with Wetz in a transfer spot. Until they cross the start-finish line. Final corner for Francois Martel. He wins the season opener and breaks the tie, I should say, with Dylan Smith and Josh Clogg. Betty second, Ragster third. Grove will hold on for 4th overall and winning sportsman in Knockhill ahead of Matt Hartley. Matt Morris crosses the line. Matt Grove, super excited over the radio. As we'll take a look at our full results. Martel, Abeti, Ragster, the top 3. Grove, Hartley, Morris, Clogg, Angie Sowers, Okenhaug, Robichaux, McFarlane. Wow. I'm going to step aside for a moment. We'll bring in our couple guys for an interview, and then I'll wrap this guy up. So we will start with our sportsman winner, Matthew Grove. And Matt Grove is in this commentary box. I don't think he knows, so let him know, Phil.
Howdy you do, Matthew Grove? You got a copy, brother man?
My God, yeah, boys, I hear ya.
I can hear the excitement in your voice, Matt. Honestly, an amazing drive in a hectic race. P4 today. Talk us through it.
Guys, I can say I am pumped right now. It is an honor to not only make a feature, but a P4 racing against some of the best drivers in iRacing on Rallycross, in my opinion.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
You know you won sportsman too, right?
I was gonna get I wanted him to talk about this first, then I was gonna drop the bombshell on him.
I have to drop the bombshell now, dude. I'm super excited. You know that.
I didn't, but this requires this.
As he burns it down on the front straight away.
I didn't even realize you were still in the car, Matt.
Go ahead, Phil.
Burn it down, brother. Burn it down. Oh, you almost had oncoming traffic T-bone you there, but yeah.
The VRI.
Sportsman winner, P4 overall.
Wow.
What a run for you today. Avoided the chaos in turn 1 in the heats and the LCQs, and you got an amazing result today for you and your team.
Absolutely. Big shout out to the NASA crew.
Yeah, and honestly,
big shout out.
Completely unrelated to just this race, but seeing your growth over your time in NASA Rallycross, that's been great to see. All the things you do for NASA off the track, on the track, it couldn't happen to a better guy, Matt. Congratulations. Sorry I cut you off in the middle of your thanks to your sponsors, but who would you like to thank for this this result today?
Definitely want to thank my teammates, Jake Robichaux, Cody Crosgrove. Those guys, I just believe the team morale building with having more teammates getting to kick it, and again, having the greatest league to race in does not hurt to be pushing it. I am just as surprised as I sound that I even made it into the feature, let alone pulled off a 4th. So I don't know. On to the next race, and looking forward to trying to put the Slaypex car up front and continue to do this, and hope the league keeps growing like it seems to be doing, because it's such an honor to be here and be supporting it. So thanks to everybody that's also out here watching the race and the broadcast, and we're going to rip another one of these for you real quick before they move on to somebody else that finished better.
That's what I love to see, Matt. Burn it down, brother. Congratulations again.
Thanks, guys. Take care, and we'll see you.
As we'll bring in third place man, Sabian Ragster. Cody, all yours.
Yeah.
Hey there, Seven. You got us?
Oh, hey, what's up?
Welcome to third step on the podium. I think that was probably one of the most chaotic first races we've ever had. What was your take on the whole start and first couple laps?
Well, I got smashed a little bit on the start going into turn one, and I thought I was in like 6th or 7th, so I was so confused when I saw that I got P3.
Everyone was just getting turned left and right. You kind of navigated through the traffic as best as you could.
Yeah. I mean, I got a little bit lucky. I thought the car was actually damaged after the first hit. So I was like, swerving left and right, going down the straight to make sure the car was okay. But the car was okay, and it was a great setup and awesome start for joining this new team.
What made you make the decision to switch over to the new team?
Alex is just so fast. And also Steve is like an upcoming guy who is super quick as well. And they just made an awesome offer. They were like, let's hang out. Let's all get faster together. And they make setups and stuff like that. And it's working out so far. I hope to be back here a couple more times this season.
For sure, and we all hope so as well. Who'd you like to thank to get you on P3 of the podium?
Oh, just my teammates. Steve and Alex. You guys are awesome. Thanks for inviting me to the team. And I can't wait to do some more racing with you guys.
Thank you for showing up here, and we'll hope to see you on the podium again next week.
Thank you. See you around.
Got one more for you, Cody. It's our former champion, Alex Abedi. I forgot for a moment that Abedi and Ragster were teammates, so Pudgy's Racing double podium on debut. But anyways, Alex Abedi, second place. Cody Erdman, all yours.
Hey there, Alex. You got us? Good. So,
hello.
Hi. So, first question. Were you trying to pull a Ken Block impression doing 2 360s in one night and getting, like, podiums each time?
I don't know if he's got us. Alex, you got us?
Yes, I got you, but I can't hear you. Cannot hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
You now.
Okay.
You weren't keying up a bit ago.
All right.
Okay.
Try it again, Cody.
So.
Oh, I can't hear him.
You can't hear Cody.
Oh, you can't hear. Okay, I got you.
That's weird. Phil, you got it.
Yeah. How does it feel? I'll just reword Cody's question a little bit. 2 360s today in your heat and in the final. Both times podium results. A win in the heat and second place overall today. How's it feel to style on everyone like that?
Well, first of all, I feel very lucky that I did a 360. Like I could continue, but in the feature, I had the pace. I was good, and I wanted to race Francois a little bit closer, and I had no chance after that. I was too far away. I was doing good laps after it, but anyway, Francois, he really deserves it, and I hope for him that he can win the championship. I'm happy that for the Pudgy's team, we got P2 and P3. That's what I'm really proud of. And I'm happy that I'm back again with a good result. And this whole season, I will rock, I will be good, I will be champion.
Yeah, it's nice to see 2 slices of the 3 slices of pizza on the podium. Congratulations to you as a team, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, with that 360, it definitely cost you a chance at the overall win today. It definitely robbed us as well as of a battle between you two, and we know you guys are really close. You were teammates last season. I'm assuming the dynamic between you two is the same, even though you're not on the same team anymore. I don't know if there's any added pressure at all, knowing you're not teammates. I don't know if you race them any differently. I'd imagine not, but yeah.
No, you could see at the start that I've backed out, and I think in lap 2 he did a mistake in T1, and there I didn't go for the move 2 because I didn't want him to die, and I don't want myself to die. It's better we get 1-2 than we both die, and I don't have any hard feelings about him. I really like him, and as I said, if he can win the championship, I'm happy for him. But I will give my best to win it myself.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear, Alex. Hopefully we'll be talking to you a lot more this season as you collect more slices of pizza for Pudgy's Racing.
I will.
Have a good night, man.
We have one more for you, Phil. It's going to be our race winner, Francois Martel. Francois Martel, Philip Kraus, all yours.
How do you do, Francois? You got a copy?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, wonderful. We had a bit of a Discord moment between Alex a bit back, but yeah, amazing win for you today. Back in the Fiesta. How's it feel to be back in the Ford? First off,
I mean, it feels kind of strange, honestly. Those little cars have a big advantage on the circuits we're gonna have. Well, big. It's a little easier to maneuver around the traffic and around really tight spaces. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, and I want to prove that any car on the surface can win races. So I've won races in the Volkswagen, Subaru, and now I'm trying out the Fiesta.
So are you saying
I
if you win
appreciate
this
that.
season, you saying if you win this season, we're going to be ripping the Fiesta? I mean, not the Fiesta. We're going to be ripping the Volkswagen back out.
Oh, the Volkswagen is definitely making a comeback. If I win this season, I'd like to win. Well, this is my huge goal. I'd like to win the championship in every single car. So if I win the Ford, the Volkswagen is going to pop up at some point.
Yeah, and
It's
as Josh said, we love to hear that because I know we've mentioned it a few times. There's a lot of Subarus on this grid, and it's nice to see a refreshing car win a race in the Fiesta. And when was the last time we had a Volkswagen win, Josh? If you remember.
Oh, I can pull it up, but it's going to be a minute. So
yeah,
continue.
I'll let you look for that for a minute, but. Yeah, Francois, amazing win for you today. As I mentioned, first race back in the Fiesta. It's a bit of a shame we got robbed of the battle between you and Alex. I know he had a bit of trouble with a Joker merge. Did 2 360s today, recovered from both, but yeah, that definitely made things a lot more comfortable for you than they were going to be originally. I'm sure that was a bit of a weight lifted off your shoulders for sure.
I mean, honestly, it was a weight lifted, sure, but it was a bit disappointing. Because man, the racing before was so exciting. I didn't feel that way for a long time in iRacing. When you know that you're matched real close with the guy that you're racing, that every single little micro decision, carrying more speed at the first corner, like I did, those all count. So it's insanely exciting. There's nothing else in the surface, and yeah, poor Alex never catches a break. Now he needs to be checked at the hospital to see if he's got vertigo or whatever happens to your brain when you spin. So hope he recovers well. But thank God he wasn't using VR.
We'll have to have the massive medical crew check him and see if he's got any whiplash after those 2 360s for sure. Congratulations on your overall win today. Hopefully we'll be seeing you a lot more this season. Amazing drive, as I said, and as you also said, it's a bit of a shame, yeah, that we lost that battle for the win between you and Alex and Evan McFarlane. He was right there as well before he got caught up in an incident in the Joker as well. But first week in NASA Rallycross usually is a bit more chaotic than the others, so hopefully it'll be a bit cleaner as we run on the season.
Yeah, great race for Evan. I feel like we're gonna see him battle for the win, just like Cody. They have the pace. Like if you look at the qualifying, they're like 0.1 second behind us, which means that they're in the game. So I'm not gonna forget that. I'm gonna work as hard as I can and have some fun.
Yeah, as we saw, yeah, there are so many competitive cars this season. Before I let you go, are there any sponsors or partners you'd like to thank?
Yes, sir. If you want to grab my setups, they're available on teamwatsonracing.com. Again, like my goal, why I do this is to make every car competitive. So I think I got it right with the Fiesta, the Volkswagen, and the Subaru. So grab a setup there. And yeah, thanks to you guys for making this race. And last but not least, Alex, thanks for racing cleanly. It's much appreciated.
As we'll let you go celebrate your win with your friends. Once again, an amazing drive from Francois Martel to win today in the Fiesta. It's been a while since we've seen him in that car. As I don't know if Josh is there. Are you there, Josh?
I absolutely am here. I am just letting you handle this. So I didn't want to interrupt. I took a look, as I know we're going to be closing this up shortly. We talked about Francois driving the Volkswagen if he wins the championship this season. So in the past 7 seasons that I've been out of the car, we had that 2020B season where Jake Robertson and Sindre Silva won every single race except for one in the Volkswagen. Excluding that, in the past 60 races, they've won 4 times.
Whew.
That's the win record for Volkswagen. 4 out of in the last 60, which
I'd hate
is
to see that compared to Subaru.
Subaru they had 2 completely clean sweeps. If we remember back in 2021C and 22A. So 21B, they won 9 out of 10. Subaru, the dominant platform, and there's a stigma that the Subaru is the only quick car on the service. That's not true. The Ford and the Volkswagen, as we've seen with Francois and Alex, really, but they're all competitive. You just have to really drive it. Let's get some final thoughts before we head out. Just a reminder, the points are the same as the finishing order, so we won't go over those. Cody, we'll start first with you.
Absolutely wild race, like we've seen always. It must be these European rounds that we start in. I think we need to start in America. But, yeah, just absolutely crazy first round. Having a lot of upsets, even making the feature. Normally we see that kind of at the end of the season where the field thins out a little bit, people not having hopes and kind of needing to hit the reset button. But congrats to Matt Grove getting his first Sportsman winner. Echoing what Phil said, watching him go from back where I was last season essentially, and then now being P4 in a feature. So congratulations to him. Congrats to the TWRS drivers getting 1-2, and then also Pudgy's Racing, them getting 2-3. So
the first double podium on a debut for a while.
Yeah,
I do believe.
So good start to the season for everyone, and we're looking forward to Brands Hatch now.
Phil?
It's nice to see NASA Rallycross come back with a bang in 2023B. It immediately reminded us, Josh, as you like to say, anything can and will happen in NASA Rallycross Challenge, and I like what Cody said. It's nice to see a double podium for a team on debut. Those 2 slices of pizza for Pudgy's Racing ending up on the podium. I'm going to be calling them that all season, Josh. I don't annoy you too much with it. But,
you're all good. All good.
Yeah, it's nice to see those 2 slices on the podium. And Francois Martel in the Fiesta, it's like he didn't even switch cars, straight back to winning ways, Josh. But as he said in his interview, it's going to be a brawl between 5, 6, 7 cars. They're all so close, Josh.
It's I told you guys before we went on air, I was super excited for this. The lights race is great. You guys will catch that on Friday. And this is just 2 nights in a row of fantastic racing in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. And it just keeps growing. A couple programming notes for the Automotive Sports Network, programming/league notes, I guess I should say. We do have the second open test of the Woven by Toyota NASA Sports Car Challenge. Yes, that Toyota's who we're partnered with. It'll be next Thursday. Join our Discord, nasasimracing.com, for all the information in regards to that. In regards to the NASA Rallycross Challenge, you can catch round 1 of the season, which was here at Knockhill last night. You'll catch it Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ASN On Demand. You'll join myself with those awkward third-person commentaries that we used to do back in the day. Yeah, it's great. It's back. I get to drive. That's my excuse. I'm selfish. And round 2 of the 2023B Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge will be in Brands Hatch. This rounds 1 and 2 in Britain. It's a continuation from the last 11 years that we used to do. That'll be June 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ASN Live. Just a reminder, our series is brought to you by Overwatch Specialty Service. The only thing more unique than your problem is our solution. For more information, visit osscenter.com. Thank you so much to Rob Hartland for your continued support. Our coverage tonight was also brought to you by NordVPN. For up to 63% off a 2-year plan, visit nordvpn.com/ASNTVUSA. Thirdly, our cameras for the entire season are provided by TrackCams22.com. And finally, our intro music was produced by our very own Alex Abetti. The checkered flag falls on the evening, and from all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Philip Kraus, Cody Erdman, and Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz. We hope you enjoyed today's coverage of the Overwatch Specialty Service NASA Rallycross Challenge tonight from Scotland. Congratulations to Francois Martel on yet another victory, and be sure to join us Friday evening for lights. But until then, so long, everyone.